It's your girl Cleopatra.
And it's Dominique.
And this is Convos with Cleo. Alright, so I put my girl Dominique on because I read an article and I feel like Dominique would be a good person to bring to the channel and discuss the contents of this particular article.
Here we go.
So here goes. The article was about a test group that a certain bank did. They asked 1,000 of their patrons who they knew were married, and they wanted to know what percentage of married couples talked about finances before they got married.
Ooh.
And when they specifically said finances, they were talking about actual income and debt. So Dominique here has been married for how many years?
2 years.
But y'all been together for?
7 years.
How much about finances did y'all discuss before you walked down the aisle 2 years ago?
See, I don't know if this was my topic. I don't know. Not a lot. We didn't really start talking about finances until we tried to purchase our home. So we purchased the home before we got married. And that was when, of course, like your income to debt ratio comes into play and all that good stuff. And so I think that's when everything got laid out on the table. Because there's no escaping that. You know what I mean?
You're not in the minority. The result of this was that 72 or 73% of married couples did not discuss finances before they got married.
That's me.
So
That's my
you're
crew.
in the majority.
Yeah.
So I brought this up because I was talking to somebody, we had a little conversation, and they were like, you know, when they go on dates, it's very common practice. Oh, what do you do?
Yep.
And based on what they do or what they say they do, you kind of formulate in your mind how much you believe they make.
Yep.
But you never actually ask the question.
But is that even an appropriate question to ask?
How much do you make?
Yeah. Like, should that be added into, like, the dating curriculum?
Maybe not first date. Maybe not first date. But if y'all start getting serious, and this is another video I'm going to do about the stages of dating. Like, you know, you meet, and then y'all are talking.
Right.
And then you're dating, and then you're exclusively dating. And then you're in a relationship. So at one of those stages, I think some of them is inappropriate to ask how much you make. But once y'all really start to either think y'all are gonna get to a relationship stage, or especially once y'all already in one.
I don't even tell my mom what I make.
But you trying to marry your mom.
Yeah, true.
Because what if they make a certain amount, and then, not that it determines if you want to be with them per se, but you can get into the mindset of, okay, I'm going to be carrying us, or I can work less.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that can determine how you behave in that relationship.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you should say that. When me and my husband first started dating, I knew like the job that he had, and he was, I think, currently getting his master's, right? He was getting his master's in IT, but he was like working like kind of like odd jobs, you know, like nothing really like concrete because he was in school. But let me tell you how this man courted the hell out of me. Like, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't with no baller. Like, just like the things that we were doing, like, you know, I'm like,
I love that.
He got a hell of a savings. So I never felt like any type of financial strain. I never felt like, oh, like if I really give this dude my all, like, are we gonna be struggling, whatever, because he was so like doing these odd jobs, odds and ends, because I just felt so secure, like he's always gonna make sure I'm good. Right. You know what I mean? But had it been the other way, I'd have been like, well, wait a minute, Tyrone. I don't know. That's not his name. I just wanted to say Tyrone.
So I thought that was interesting because me and my husband, we didn't talk finances. That wasn't the plan. But when we were dating, I needed help with a bill.
Ooh.
And I didn't ask him, but I was just like, okay, you know, Sally Mae is calling, and it's between Sally Mae and the car note. If I don't pay the car note, I can't get to work to eventually pay Sally Mae. And my thing was, I don't like to pay my bills late. So I just didn't want to be late on this bill. I knew I'd eventually have it, like maybe a day or two after the due date, but I just don't like to be late. And he was like, because he started at, how much does this bill cost? And, you know,
what else you got?
Why don't you have it? Because it's one thing to be like, oh, life got the best of me. But if you was out here clubbing and drinking and partying and now your bills are late, that may not be something I want to help you with. Because maybe you need to learn this lesson.
You taking me back. I feel like that was me. And I feel like as long as the essentials were taken care of, like I was good. So Sally Mae, like I didn't really start paying attention to her until she garnished my wages. I said, wait a minute, Sally, wait, I was gonna get right back. Like,
give me mine.
I was gonna get right back.
Off the top.
Nah, Sally came for me. But that was the time when like I really started like thinking about, okay, well, I got a lot of debt out there. You know what I mean? But it took him really saying like the same thing that your husband said, like, okay, well, what are you doing with your money? Because here I am working this job, that job.
Why don't you
know, you got like the secure job. You go there every day.
Every day.
Why don't you have it?
Why don't you got it? What's happening?
I mean,
is it just that your ends don't meet? You have too many bills for where you are, or is it just you're not using your money wisely?
Right.
That's something I feel like should be said or talked about before you actually get married. Because once you tie yourself, marriage. People say all the time, "Oh, it's just a piece of paper." Marriage is a contract. When you tie your name to that person, their debt becomes your debt, like it or not. Because it's going to come out of the household money.
And forever is a long time. Like, you think like, oh, you know, well, we've only been married 2 years. Okay, that's 2 years into forever. Like, that's a long time.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But yeah, like, it was like kind of a hard conversation to have. You know what I mean? Like, to really manage
if you're not doing the best by your finances, it is hard to then come back and have to, especially if somebody else brings it to your attention. It's a tough pill to swallow.
And it got to where, because you know, of course, when you do your mortgage, they open you up.
So this cell phone bill was how many months late because it's still in your credit report, and it's like, ooh.
And not only that, it's like the money that you have going out. Like, okay, so this year alone, you spent 40 grand at Amazon. What do you have to show for it? This couch.
Nothing that's helping make you more money.
Nothing.
But it was a pajama day, so I ordered these new cute pajamas. And my job was having hat day, so I ordered a new hat.
That's me.
No kind of investments in
That's
you.
Me.
So, if you were on a date with a guy, and not in the rude way, y'all have a conversation, oh, you know, what did you do? Right. Whatever like that. If he starts asking you questions about your financial future.
Give me an example. What's the question?
Have you ever owned a home?
Okay, all right.
You know, and you say, no, I've never owned a home. Okay.
Do you aspire to own a home?
Right.
Okay.
When the last time you checked your credit score?
Wait a minute.
Is that taken as you asking too much? A part of you, I might be a little impressed. Like, this is, he wants to know, can I be a good life partner? That's not a bad person to be on this date with. But he's not thinking just here and now.
I think it goes back to what you said. It's only uncomfortable if you know that you
ain't doing right.
Yep. That's when it's uncomfortable.
You ain't got to tell him what your credit score is. You say, oh, I've checked it and it's doing well. And how was yours? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to say, oh, it's a 620 or 220 or nothing like that. But I think that to me, it would be a little impressive. Maybe not that specific question, but if he asks questions to know if I would be a good life partner.
Maybe it's like the leading up questions that I would need. Like, we're already having this conversation and I know where it's going. I know the reason that you're asking this question. Because you can't just come off top like, okay, this is date 2, but now you want to know if I'm checking my credit. Where are you going with this?
But what if by day 1 he already thought you could be the one and he just wants to, by day 2 he just wants to make sure.
All up on me. Okay.
Some people, it don't take a year to know. I told my husband, I want to say we was like 6 months dating, and not to put pressure on him, but I flat out told him, I was like, because I know I'm an open book, it don't take 5 years to know if you want to make me your wife or not. It should not, because I have nothing, there's no layers to this onion you have to peel back and keep uncovering.
You already know, and it's so funny, I gave my husband 5 years. But I told him, I'm like, you really know year 2 and 3. Yeah. But 5 years, this is it. And so he was like, okay, so you mean to tell me if we hit year 5 and I don't do nothing, you gonna get another 5?
Another 5?
I'm like, don't worry about the next 5.
Just worry about your 5.
Just worry about your 5. What you gonna do with it, okay?
So y'all bought a house before you was married.
Right.
Me and my husband, definitely we lived together before we was married.
Yeah.
Do you think that's the best way to go about it, living with someone before you get married? Are you somehow ruining the experience? Because I do get the thought process of once we get married and buy a house, we'll be able to live together for the first time. Like, I get that thought process.
Right.
But having done it the way you've done it, do you think it would have been better waiting to move in? Or do you think
I think I needed to do it in the time that I did it. Only because I feel like your relationship is tested a little bit. And it could just be a personal thing for me. Is like, in my mind, I'm always like feeling like, okay, what's my way out? Like, how can I kind of protect myself? You know what I mean? As far as
self-preservation.
If this don't work, like, I'm out. Like, I can go with my mom. I can do this. I can do that. But when you're married, like, you're locked in. And I feel like sometimes that can be a little, like, not really claustrophobic, but like, wait a minute, I don't have no out. We gotta make this work. So I think in working out all of those kinks, kind of like before the marriage happened, it's like, okay, I'm locked in and I want to be locked in because we did the work. Okay, so I definitely think moving in first for us was the right thing to do. Okay. I was very independent. I didn't move in with every boyfriend I had. We just moved in together. That's not what I did. Yeah, my husband was my first. Like, you know, the first,
truly,
like, living together.
I spent plenty of nights. Like, I've had clothes at somebody's house, and I spent a few nights at a time. But I always had my own residence. I had a whole drawer. Okay. Yes, but I always had my own residence. So this was the first time we actually shared a space. So we needed that though, because I needed to come out of that my and really get into the we and us of it all. Because when you're an independent woman, everything is mine. I paid for this. This is my car. Don't adjust my seat. Get that off my floor. Get the dishes out of my sink. It can be very that. And in any healthy relationship, you got to get rid of some of these minds for we's and us.
Yeah, I don't know if we would have lasted. I feel like real conversations happened in the mix of us living together, as far as even our cleaning styles. Yeah. Me and my husband cleaning style is totally different. I call him JCD. His name is Jason. But he got like some serious OCD that's not like, oh, I got to flick the light switch 3 times before I leave the house. Right. Nothing against that. But
what does that do?
Like, it's like, sometimes like people with OCD, they'll feel like if they don't flick the light switch 3 times, like something bad is gonna happen. Kind of like step on a crack, you break your mind.
That's superstition.
Yeah, superstition, but like on another level.
Gotcha.
But his was with
no hats on the bed, no bags on the floor.
Yup. Okay. So his was with like a certain, he like things to be cleaned a certain way, and like things to just be set up. Like, well, wait a minute, why would you put this salt and pepper over there? Like, you know, like it needs to go over here. So, girl, we went through it. And so, yeah, so cleaning styles, that could like really make a break where you feel like, wait a minute, you got me feeling like I'm dirty. Like, I'm not dirty. Like, wait a minute.
You're extra. I'm not dirty.
You're extra. And even with grocery shopping was a big thing for us. Yeah. So with him,
my husband don't like me going grocery shopping. He said I spend too much. I'm like, I
let him do it.
The cheaper one. But he's like, no. He's like, because I come back with like 3 bags, and I had to understand he was right too about that, because I would come in the house with like 3 bags, like, oh, I spent $90, like I got so much stuff. He would take them same $90 and go to the same store and have like 6 bags. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, maybe you are better at this than I am.
You're tearing up.
Yeah, my bad.
But no, so his OCD came in with how things go into the cart. How he puts things on the conveyor belt. Gotcha. He wants it to be the same way that he wants her to bag it. It's how he wants it on his conveyor belt. And I'm like, but that's her job. Like, why am I gonna like step on her ShopRite toes when she went to ShopRite school for this? Like, she knows what to do with these groceries.
ShopRite University.
Yeah, come on. That's you. Come on. Like, so girl, so then we would get home. I put the stuff away. All right, cool. Next thing I know, he's taking stuff out and re-putting it back into the cabinet. So for a long time, I thought it was me. I was like, yo, I can't do nothing right. I can't even grocery shop right. I can't put this stuff away. I really felt the way like, yo, we ain't gonna make it because I can't do anything right. But then I came to the realization like, no, it's not me. It's you. And I'm gonna just bring the bags in and you put it away.
You put it away.
And we've been good.
And that's our partnership.
Yep.
I bring them in,
put them away.
Put them away.
Yep. I'm not doing that.
So, with the financial aspect of it, if y'all had not bought that house, do you think y'all would have discussed finances before the marriage?
Well, his mom is very into like real estate. And so I think that she instilled a lot of those things in him. So I feel like the conversation was bound to happen, you know what I mean, prior to taking that next step of like us merging everything together. So I'm sure it would have happened. I think that us purchasing the house forced it to happen because now it's on paper. Right. Because if I could just tell you,
I might tell you what I want to tell you.
I'm like, you know, Sally, she called me every now and then. I don't really owe that much. But now that it's on paper.
Do you think it's important to know, though, what somebody makes and or what their debt situation is?
Somebody as far as like that you're actively courting? Or
yes, y'all have been dating for a while. Y'all are exclusive. It is getting serious. Marriage talks have happened, but there's no proposal yet. Do you think at that point it's appropriate to say, what's your debt look like? Are you in the rears with child support? Are you in the rears with student loans? Are you in the rears, honey? You owe.
You know what? Initially, no. Like, I didn't think that was a good conversation to have. But I have like a coworker who, like, he's like a young guy, but he like always comes to me and he'll ask me about, like, you know, oh my gosh, like, you know, I'm doing this with my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, Dominique, I don't think that I could marry her. Why? You spend all this time, y'all going on trips, like, that's your boo. He's like, nah, like, she has a lot of debt. And when he hit me with that, like, dude is like maybe 26, 27. When he hit me with that, I'm like, everybody got debt. Everybody. What do you mean? And so he's like, yeah, I don't think that I can
I don't want to tie myself to that debt.
But he was also looking at the way that she managed her money. As far as, like, you know, she's always buying things, or maybe she doesn't buy them in the most responsible way.
So let's use that as an example. He knows his girlfriend is bad with money.
Yeah.
Her money management is the reason why y'all have not moved forward and gone to engagement and marriage. What do you do with that? Do you just live in that and go, so we're going to stop here? Or do you say, listen, if you don't fix this, I'm going to move on, because what are we doing?
Right.
You're
wasting your time. That's what you're doing. You're wasting your time. But with him, I felt like he was mature in that aspect, but immature in so many others, because I asked him the same thing, like, well, what are you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean?
To help her, or have you brought it to her attention that this is an issue for you, this bothers you, and every time you see her on Amazon, you rolling your eyes, like, all right, girl. You know?
Or not even that this is the issue, but this is stopping our progression.
Right.
I think, like, if she heard that, she probably like, wait a minute, I got a catch. Let me get it together.
Right. Because I think it's good that he's financially aware of where they would be, because I think finances play a huge part in a relationship. People get divorced over financial decisions in a relationship.
They do.
So finances are huge. So you believe that finances do play a big part in a relationship.
I do.
A financial conversation should come up before a marriage.
So you think that it needs to be like a whole conversation? We come to the round table, I'm pulling up my spreadsheet, let me help you on creating yours and putting in
that's like a step two. I think most people don't even say, well, how much do you make? They say, where do you work? Oh, I work at XYZ. So they assume, okay, that's not like 40,000. Or
they might hit it up on like Glassdoor.
Glassdoor. But if you don't know what debt that is, too, he may have 35,000 in debt, so he really only netting 15.
You know,
we need to know that.
I don't think people thinking like that.
They don't. But I think you should. When y'all got married, or before y'all got married, joint bank accounts, how did that look like?
Okay, so what we ended up doing, we got a joint bank account, but that bank account was only for our household bills. You know what I mean? So whatever amount that we needed to make it, you know, to pay off everything, went there. But we still kind of had our own separate checking accounts that we paid our own personal bills out of. But anything that we accumulated together, so whether it be like, you know, a credit card that we had together, the home loan, anything that we're paying comes out of like that household.
Gotcha. Or some people, they get married and they still do, we split every bill down the middle. So I keep my check in my account, you keep your check in your account, and we just come together, okay, the mortgage is 15, where's your 750? Here.
But to me, that sounds like
roommates. I agree. We have a joint account and we each have separate accounts. So our full paychecks go to the joint account and we legit give ourselves an allowance. Okay. So all the bills come out of this one account. Okay. But we'll be like, okay, this paycheck, you can take 3, I can take 300. We do our thing. Like, that's your money. So I do think there should be like some kind of communal pot, because then you don't feel like the weight of the household finances is on you. Right. But my husband legit, this was after we were married. He said to me, you don't handle your, because I was like, should we get a joint account? We married. You gotta change my name. You know, should we get a joint account? He was like, no, because you spend your money too fast. And I was so offended. I was so offended. I was like, we're married. Yeah. It should be one account.
What I got married for.
But he was like, now, even though we didn't have a full-blown financial conversation before the wedding, he saw my spending habits and knew, Okay, she can't have access to all the money. So
you
like
almost say have a husband, like
honey.
You know what's crazy? I feel like that's what happened to me, but I feel like it wasn't as vocal. I think I got duped because he controls like the joint account. I just put my little bit of pennies in there. He controls the account, in there. And so since I was like, when we was dating, I was already kind of living by myself. I was like, you know what? I already know what it's like to kind of manage your household bills, whatever. You handle that. So I'm thinking I'm getting over like, girl, I ain't got to worry about no bills. Like I just let him.
He's like, I don't want you worrying about the bills.
I think that's what happened to me.
But it works. I got a guy, he knows for a fact his wife makes more than he do. He's like, I don't care, whatever. She's better with, like, her trade is accountant. Like, she's an accountant as her career.
Right.
So she's really good with money. So he said, I have no problem handing my paycheck over to you. But the first time I come in here and the lights don't work, I'm going to be pissed.
It's the problem.
It's the problem.
I need my checks back. Give them back.
So, do you think finances equates to some kind of power in the relationship? He who makes more controls more. He who makes more has more of a say.
I don't think so. And then I go back to when I was telling you earlier when we were dating. So it was clear that, you know, I made more, or maybe not made more, but as far as like being like stable in my job, having years in the job, because he was doing the odds and ends. He was still, you know, really gung-ho about his education, but I never had a want for anything. And there was never a time where I was like, oh, I want to go to do this, I want to see this play, and I couldn't. It was like, oh, okay, I figured you would, already got the tickets. Oh my gosh.
Get my bag.
Oh my gosh.
So, because some people really are of the school of thought where, like, if I make more, then I wear the pants. In that regard.
That's dangerous.
That is dangerous.
That's dangerous.
I don't agree with that train of thought. Because I feel like at the end of it, especially once you're into a marriage, it's ours. Yeah, technically this was my paycheck and this is your paycheck, but it went into our joint account. This is our money and we should do right by this money. Because I put more in, doesn't mean I should have more of a say on how we use it.
Right.
Well, I just bought this car because it's mostly my money anyway.
Oh.
That don't sound like...
Well, you trying to be by yourself.
Right.
Ooh.
Right.
Okay.
Could you be if your man, all right, if you had a man who made buku coin, buku money,
okay.
He came to you and he said, you work hard and I don't want you to work that hard no more. I got us. Quit your job.
Ooh.
Could you quote unquote relinquish all financial control of, now your name is still on the accounts.
Yeah. I mean, I could. I don't think that I would want to. And it goes back to what we talk about, like, just like how you are financially. I buy a lot of dumb shit. I don't want you to be looking at the statement of like, why are you buying this? Why are you doing that? With my money. So I think for that, I would still want to do a part-time something. Let me get my little $100 check here and there so that that money is like, I can do whatever it is that I want. And
I couldn't just do stay at home because I get fulfillment in having a career. But if my husband flat out was like, I make enough, and when I tell you got to make enough to cover us, we better take family vacations and everything. And I
want to be able to buy my dumb shit.
Yes.
And it not be like, wait a minute, I'm looking at the statement. This month you spent $1,100 on
Now,
Amazon.
even if he had enough money to cover that, I would have to start a nonprofit or something. I have to put my hands to something.
You know what? I always say, like, if there is, you know, a time where, like, I hit the Powerball because I love the lottery or I love a scratch-off ticket. That's my thing. But if I ever, you know, like, hit the Powerball or come up on some money to where I don't have to work and we're in such, like, an amazing place, I would be a career student. I just want to go to school forever. Like, girl, I got a master's in basket weaving. Like, that's what I want because I did it. I know how to do it. What you need? You need a scarf?
Right.
I knit it. I got you. And you know what? I feel like there's also, when you go to work or when you have, like, another identity outside of just being at home, like, you're able, I feel like you learn more about yourself. At home, I've just been put into this mom box, this white box. When really, I'm super smart. Like, I'm funny, I'm charismatic, but you done heard all my jokes. I say them all the time. To you. I didn't practice on nobody. Let me go to the office.
So, I think that we both agree finances play a big role in a relationship.
We do.
I think we're still figuring out what stage in a relationship should they come up.
What stage in the dating? Because you said we're dating now.
Exclusively dating.
Exclusively dating.
Well, y'all in a relationship. Y'all a boyfriend, girlfriend. The titles, the statuses on Facebook have changed, people. It is a new day.
Okay.
I have a boyfriend. And once you get a boyfriend, in my mind, we're heading to see if we are good life partners.
Okay.
This finance, how you handle finances is a big indicator for me on what kind of life partner you'll be.
And I also feel like that is like super adult. You know, like to have that conversation is super grown. You know what I mean? So I think it's warranted, but thinking it back to my dating self, I would need to know like the end goal in mind. Like, why are you asking me all of this? I'm trying to think what else would make me like, nah, we can't be together.
I foreclosed on 2 houses now.
Ooh.
I got mad.
Tore up.
Yeah, my credit is a 320. But I love you, boo.
Ooh. Well, nope. No judgment there. Hold up. No judgment. Because remember I told you when me and Jason was dating, his credit is off the charts. I worked in credit. Like I was in the credit department at the bank that I was in. And Sally Mae just garnished my paycheck. So that lets you know what my credit was looking like. So he would have left me. Like I was looking like, wait a minute.
Right.
So I can't say.
If they say something that makes you leery, give them the opportunity to fix it. Help them through it. Cause you well, should you help them? Should you be like, well, you got yourself into this hole, and I need you to dig yourself out before we move forward? Or do you say, all right, babe, what are you doing? And I'll grab a shovel too. How much of that do you take on?
Well, it goes back to what you want. Because if the end goal is for us to be husband and wife, I'm your helpmate anyway. So give me that shovel because I got you. You know what I mean?
All right, you guys. So y'all let us know what y'all think about finances in a relationship. Is there a time when it's too soon to ask? Yeah. And what stages do you think y'all should have that discussion at? Let us know if y'all had to talk before marriage, during marriage, after marriage.
After the divorce, when you got it together.
Right. And how did that work for y'all? Thank you guys so much again for watching. Thank you, Dominique, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And we'll see you guys next time.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And meet me back here next Tuesday for another Convos with Cleo. It's your girl, Cleopatra. Hold on.
I got too excited. Wait a minute. Okay.